Hey guys, so actually these past few months I've put in, let's say, a lot of effort into the Dragon Ball game, Dragon Ball TCG. Uh, and I decided since when I started, it was really hard to decide, what deck to play, how to choose a mechanic, how to know everything, because when you go to a tournament, everybody plays something different. And you have to know different tactics just to know how to go past their goal, how to stop their combo when it's time, and how to react in certain situations. So in the beginning I was I think with the Super Saiyan 4 Goku deck. It's a starter deck, I think the 5th starter or the 4th. It's really good. uh, I was actually really happy. I got very far with it, fixed it up a bit, and you know I'm gonna try to make a series now that shows you all the different decks I actually play, the decks I want to make, ideas for them, of course, and eventually I'll go into the internet and see what different things there are, my opinions on decks made by people, and so on. I'll also show you the cards I'm planning to use in my decks and my side deck, of course. So the actually my main deck right now, and the first one I made, the deck I could never get tired of, is the Height of Mastery. It's just such a good deck, man. But of course you can't play just Height of Mastery like before. You can't go for Path to Greatness, 3 Height of Mastery and just expect to win. With the last two sets, there are actually a lot of decks like the BR Broly that go against your whole idea. Like, you need something defensive to or aggressive other than this card to be able to win. Get this, if your whole combo can be stopped in the beginning and the middle, and you just have nothing to do. So after a lot of tournaments, after a lot of playing around with cards and different ideas, this is the deck I got. And actually I'm really happy with the results. I've gotten really far in tournaments with it. And let's check it out. So for the leader, of course, it's the Awakened Thread Broly. So for now I'm gonna show you the cards. After that I'll show you the different combinations I do, why I chose certain cards instead of others, and so on. So first of all, the Broly. I'll stand it here. Second of all is... shit. Okay, turns out I actually didn't put my deck in any order, so I'm gonna come back in a second. Okay, we're back, so let's start this properly now. So first of all is of course the main idea behind the deck. It's the Height of Mastery. I only run 2 of them. Why? Because there are searchers in the deck, and actually you only need 1 of them to do my finale combo. So I'm gonna explain it in a bit. So 2 Height of Mastery, and something actually I don't see many people doing this, but it's a really good idea. It's the Hope of Universe 7 Son Goku. It's from TB1. I know it's kind of hard to get, but trust me, it's worth it. It's a very cheap card and really good. After that, of course, 2 Path to Greatness. One of my personal 3 favorite cards of the deck. It's the the Gohan. It's such a key card to the deck. I'll explain to you in a bit why. Of course, you have 2 searchers, 2 3-cost barrier swap Gokus, Discovered Dynasty Son Gohan, 4 Successor of Hope. So basically the whole deck is Goku's lineage and swap. So the Successor of Hope actually is very important. Without it you can't have the deck. Okay, let's spread these out a bit more. And okay. So for super combos, actually you can do pretty much anything as long as it works with the deck, but I chose the Jaco. One of the key cards to the deck is the little Gohan. The most cancerous card in my deck, which brings me the most joy when I play it, actually, is the Negate. Is the Flying Nimbus. Some say running 4 of them is it's a bit too much, but I think it's just perfect. Of course, Dependable Dynasty Son Goku. Time Magic 4 times. Kaba the Revoker. SSB Son Goku the Apex. Ultimate Potential SS2 Son Gohan. Hidden Power East Supreme Kai. If you have Champas, they do the same thing. Cold Bloodlust. Ultimate Form Son Goku. And Swift Retaliation Cooler. Okay, let's go into the deck and explain exactly what does what. Okay, so now let's check out what does what and why I chose it. First of all, the leader is Broly. What you do with him is, first of all, he's very important. He self-awakens and he's a good draw. So you attack, and what happens is you take 1 card from your life and 1 from your deck, which automatically gives you a good hand for the beginning, and you're 1 step closer to awakening. Here, what you do when you awaken is you untap 2 energy into active mode, which is, I think, the best awakening of all. So, in awakened form, what you do is when you attack, you get +1 card automatically from the deck. And the first active main, I don't see many people using it, but you target 1 of his creatures, cards, and turn it to rest mode, which could actually help you, since you can turn it to rest mode and kill it with 1 of yours if it's annoying or something like that. The second one is the one most people use. Actually, it's used a lot in this particular deck. You break 1 of your life, put it in your hand, and 1 of your cards gets an extra turn. Now let's see what the rest of the deck does. These 3 cards are very important for the deck. In your first hand, you aim to have 1 of these and at least 1 of these 2. If you don't have 1 of them, Successor of Hope. Successor of Hope searches every single swap Goku's Lineage card, which is a decent amount of this deck. So that's what you do. You put him in, swap with him. You want to have at least 1 of him because of the barrier. So he is alive by turn 2 when you swap him out with him. Or with 1 of these 2. Depends how you want to go in the game. The one thing you can do is on turn 2 you can actually spam 4 of these, which is really good. Like 4 attacks on which you can add the East Supreme Kai. It's really good. It's early game aggro, and many current decks aren't actually that well adapted to it. So yeah, let's go ahead. So these 2, I added them because first of all, it swapped with barrier. It at least protects itself on 1 point. And the other one is this one, the Gohan. I added him just because, again, he's a swap. And what he does is he KOs 1 rest mode battle card, which is, to be honest, very useful. Continuing with the deck, I added 3 of him. He is one of the deck's drawing powers. When you put him in with swap, you draw 2 cards. He has barrier and a swap 5. So actually what's important for this deck and why I chose him particularly and not any other swap card is because, first of all, the drawing power. Second of all, he's Universe 7. You get why that's important in a bit. This is one of the finishers you could use if the other one isn't an option. If you go to turn 5 and he's still in your hand, even though I put him mostly in the energy. First of all, he has barrier, so it makes it a bit more defensive. He has swap 8, which could actually lead to him or him. I'm not saying you have to do it. This one is a better option, but it is possible. So when you play this card, if your leader card is Goku's Lineage, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and KO it. Sadly, Broly is not Goku's Lineage, but you could use the Super Saiyan 4 Goku. Next card is him again, Universe 7 card, which is important. His important effect is if you have 3 or less life, which is really easy obtainable by this deck, you can his cost in your hand goes down by 1, which means that you can still evolve this one above him, since he requires Universe 7 and Son Goku with energy cost of 5, because this one goes down only in your hand. And that is good because you can go directly from a 3 cost to him. Also, for a 4 cost, you can put him in easily, just with Raw Summon. And you can KO a card. If it's in rest mode, you draw a card too. So, really good card. Again, Universe 7, very important. This one is my searcher for Universe 7 cards. It is also permanently Universe 7 in all areas. So you can use it to, for example, this guy, why it's important to have Universe 7 cards is his evolution requires you to throw away 2 Universe 7 cards. So you could throw away these and they can search themselves. Ideally, you use them if you don't have one of these in your hand, or both of them, you don't know. This is the path to greatness. This is it's kind of what makes your deck go perfectly at level 4, at turn 4 and not 5. What you do with him is when you set him down with one of these two, first of all you turn one of the opponent's cards into rest mode and you draw 1 card, which automatically gives you hand advantage, which is really good. Also sparking 7, for 4 cost you get to summon one of these two. So what you do is you summon him. He has Deflect, he has Triple Strike, he has Dual Attack, and when he goes in, this card is amazing. You get this 3, you can choose yourself which 3 battle cards or energy cards, ignoring barrier, you can turn to rest mode. Which automatically, it's just a very good card, man. So what you do is you attack once with him, you attack twice with him, you use the leader's effect to break 1 life and turn him back into active mode. On top of him, you put him. Again, you attack once, twice, on the 3rd one, when he goes again active mode, you put 1 more. So that gives you up to 7 attacks with, first of all, 2 triple strike, then triple attack with critical. Critical is important in the end game because when you use crit, that doesn't give him hand advantage and he has less combo power. His auto effect isn't important because our leader is yellow and not green. So for defense, I use these 8 cards and the Cabra Revoker. Why I use them? Flying Nimbus is the single best negate in the game right now, I think. Actually, I don't think, I'm sure. You put him down, you throw away 1 yellow card, and your opponent has 1 more attack with the battle card for the rest of the turn, which automatically makes aggro decks just useless for 1 turn, you could say. But it doesn't work on leaders. The leader can still attack, which with the new Series 8 Janemba leader, actually a baby leader, I'm sorry, it actually doesn't work on him, but that's where you have Time Magic. Time Magic you can use sparking 5, break 1 life, and put it in for free. What it does is, ignoring barrier, your opponent can't switch the card back to active mode with anything. If it has dual attack, guess what? Not anymore. With the effect of leaders like this, nope, it doesn't work. It's just an amazing one. It stops entire combos, like this one for example. And Cabra Revoker, what he does is, when an enemy card attacks, you can negate the attack and play him, first of all. Second of all, combo power. Third of all, it negates the skills of a battle card your opponent controls. So for example, I'm playing against Swap Frieza, you know? He puts down the 5 cost. Actually, no, that doesn't work, I'm sorry. Swap Frieza again. Or no, let's say BR Broly, since that is the biggest enemy of this deck. Let's say he attacks. This one is already down and he attacks. What you can do is negate the attack and take away his skills. So he doesn't have the skill needed for the activate battle to destroy this one. Yeah, it's just a good... I'd actually recommend having 2 of them, but it's still very good. At least one is a must. Hidden Power E Supreme Kai is just a... It's not needed for the deck, it's just a good surprise, you know? The guy has 2 life, he says, oh well, I can take 1 damage, it's not that big of a problem. Suddenly you put this, you put your whole hand to combo, and you win the game. Hopefully. Cold Bloodlust is actually... You can use him because he's a Frieza's army leader. It's a really good card. When a battle card is played, its skills are negated. So that's only for 1 turn, but it can make the entire difference in the game. Unless it has, of course, Deflect, which is shitty. Anyway, the last card is Swift Retaliation Cooler. So you could do this. Let's say you put him in turn 5. You go with that. You go with him turn 5, and you awaken your leader then, so you have 3 energy. What you could do is, let's say your opponent uses negate, and you have him in your hand. You have 3 energy. You put him down and you stop his negate. It's a counter, man. It's like Battering Laser, but a bit more expensive. On the other hand, though, you can use him as combo power. Then you draw 2 cards, because for sure you have 6 cards or more in rest mode. So you draw 2 cards, you play him, you can use him for combo power, you can use him for an attack, and it stops the enemy's counter, which is again really good. Okay, so that was it for the Height of Mastery deck. I really hope it was useful for you. The cards in it you can change are the Dynasty Goku and the SS2 Son Gohan. Again, I recommend you go with the swap. You could also change the Apex and the Dynasty. The other Dynasty Gohan. You could go completely Height of Mastery, which actually I wouldn't recommend because there are just too many combos that stop it at this point of the game. But yeah, this is the deck I play. This is my favorite deck. Okay, I'm gonna add myself here for a second. I forgot to do the side deck, so let's check it out. There are some cards in there which, depending on your own playstyle, you can choose, but these are the ones that you should have in here whatever you do. So first of all, it's Kami the Global Unifier. What you do with him is, if the guy plays 2 aggro, if he spams the board, you can just put him down and you clear everything. Problem is, you clear your board too. And it ignores barrier, which is kind of shitty. But anyway, again, good card to have. The other one is Mercenary Tau. This goes against Slick decks and basically any discard deck. What it does is, once per turn, when the enemy makes you discard, he has to get rid of 3 cards he has. So again, really good, really annoying card. And last of all is the Tianxin Han. It goes against mostly blue decks and against Senzu Bean, which is very good. What it does is, your opponent can't reactivate energy unless it's with the Awakened skill. Okay, see you. Hope it was useful for you and making your own deck. If you see any weaknesses that I could fix and anything like that, please comment down below. Also, what I'm planning is to get rid of this one and put in the Secret Rare Dragon Balls that drop from set 8. They are just amazing. With this deck you can put them down for free, you can clear the board, then play your entire combo without worrying about your opponent. Okay, Thank you guys for watching this, and see you all next time.